So someone you live with, brother, sister, parent, or friend, is constantly borrowing your stuff without asking, even though you have told them before that this bothers you. Sometimes they put your stuff back where they got it, but most of the time they damage it, lose it. You are now confronting them about this. Lead is me, supporting is Gracie, and we'll go from there. So I noticed the other day I was going through my stuff and I noticed some things were missing. Do you know where they went?
I took them to borrow.
Okay, that's okay. But just next time, can you please ask me? I've spent a lot of money on this kind of stuff, and it's just kind of frustrating when I don't get my stuff back. Um, and I hope I can trust you with my stuff, and I hope I can get my stuff back.
I totally understand. Next time I wish to borrow one of your items, I promise that they will be in good standing and that I asked before using them.
Yeah, and I have no problem with you using my stuff just as long as I get it back. And that's the biggest thing for me is I just want my property back, and it's same for you. If I were to ever borrow your stuff, I would always bring it back to you just the way you would expect it back, right?
For sure, I would expect the same thing. And if I was in your shoes, I totally understand where you're coming from.
And like as roommates, we should be able to like borrow each other's stuff and like without worrying about each other touching our stuff. And like I don't want to have to like always confront you and make sure that I get my stuff back.
Right.
Yeah. So is there anything we can like kind of make like a way we can work out how we can work forward from here instead of always trying to confront you about it? Do you have any suggestions?
Well, maybe just like deeming which property is like able to be borrowed and which is off limits. And
Yeah, and I
uh,
think the biggest thing would be like communicating, right? Like if we both have cell phones now, and like we can just shoot a quick like text message to one another and just say, "Hey, can I borrow your stuff? I have no problem with you using my stuff as long as I'm aware of it."
right. And I totally understand, like I said.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm just kind of disappointed because like I've spent a lot of money on this kind of stuff, and I know you have your own stuff that you spend your own money on, and we just want to have our own stuff, but we want to be able to share with everybody, get back at the end of the day.
Of course. At the end of the day, like you said, like your property is your property and my property is my property, and to return things in like the standing that they were upon receiving it.
Yeah, so listen, like we're good roommates, we're friends. There's no reason why we can't share things. I think it's just we have a little bit of a communication problem. Um, so moving forward, I suggest we just communicate a little bit more. If I'm ever home, I have no problem with you borrowing my stuff, just as long as I get it back. And if it ever breaks, just replace it. I have no problem with that. It's just frustrating. For instance, if I go into the washroom to use my hair dryer and it doesn't work. And then I'm like, well, now I have to go out and buy another one because I let somebody borrow it. Kind
Right.
of, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So I guess moving forward, if you ever have a problem, just talk to me. And if you ever want to borrow something, just talk to me.
Sounds good.
Awesome. You know where to find me.
Yeah.